Hey, before the video starts, I've got a very bad cold, so I'm gonna sound a little different. With that, I'm gonna start the video. Hey guys, Lightning Reviews here, and today I'm reviewing the Cell/Android saga of Dragon Ball Z. Let's begin. The start of this story is off the rails insane. It starts with Frieza coming to Earth and a mysterious Super Saiyan kills him. Now I wanted to talk about Trunks' reveal as a time traveler. There's a suspicion around his character from the beginning, becoming a Super Saiyan and killing Frieza. For the viewer, all we know is there are only 3 Saiyans left: Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta. Then the scene after, when he talks to the other Z fighters, we get lines like this: "I can't tell you my name," from Trunks. Then the questions the Z fighters asked, when not answered or reflected, make him sound suspicious, as, "Isn't that a Capsule Corp logo you're wearing? How do you know he's gonna get there in 3 hours?" referring to Goku. "And what's your name?" One line that gives us an alright hint in terms of the future is, "Have we met somewhere before?" said by Bulma. These shroud him in a sense of mystery and suspicion. Trunks being a time travel isn't a great reveal, since as the audience we couldn't piece it together. It does connect the dots though. We learn the new threat, the androids. Then the fighters leave to train for 3 years to combat this. On a 3-year time skip, I preferred it to be skipped, unlike the Saiyan saga, since the time skip here had no story to tell, unlike the previous, would only waste time. But I would have loved to see a bit of the romance between Vegeta and Bulma, but this is a shonen. Vegeta having kid and family is another checkpoint in his arc, even if he doesn't care about them yet. The battle with the androids begins in a new location. The fight with Android 20 was a nice looking fight, and Goku having the heart virus was already stated, so it didn't just come out from nowhere, making it not jarring Goku being taken out of the fight like that. We learned that these androids aren't the same from Trunks' timeline, which makes us question how strong are the real androids. Vegeta turning into a Super Saiyan was used as a way to bolster his confidence before crushing it later. But other than that, there wasn't much to it. But, as always, it was really fun to watch Vegeta fight Pride on full display. Akira Toriyama tries to make the audience underestimate Android 17 and 18's power, when Piccolo is able to dismantle 19, which later on will allow our expectations to be shattered later on. In the end, 17 and 18 are awakened. Vegeta's character shines the most after the androids are awakened. He doesn't think at any point he might be slightly weaker than the androids. He assumes he's stronger than them. This shows a key place in his character arc. Now I want to quickly talk about the fight with 18 and Vegeta. Due to Vegeta's arrogance being established, it makes it more satisfying when he gets crushed. Also establishing the android's threat. Kami and Piccolo's fusion feels justified, since it was foreshadowed early in the Namek saga. Also, this shows the threat of the androids. This decision has an air of Kami waiting before doing this, builds up anticipation for it. Now let's talk about Cell's introduction. It starts off in chapter 164, where Kami decides to fuse with Piccolo due to an anonymous threat. And since we know that Kami didn't want to fuse without proof of danger, we know this issue is serious. This is then reaffirmed when the reporter in Town's death is almost scary. Along with the clothes of the dead, we slowly get the horror of this creature, with things like this going on. Then we see it as it mostly kills someone on panel by slowly absorbing them to nothing. This makes the threat of Cell scary and intimidating. A new goal is established to protect the androids from Cell. We get some general intelligence as they get the blueprints of the androids and the Saiyans to train to go beyond Super Saiyan. The later battle itself felt incredibly dire and stressful. It had some great moments, and we learn why Jiro didn't release 16 as he's stronger than 18 and 17. The question asked in this fight is, can the androids be protected, and will Vegeta emerge from the chamber, a bit like Goku in previous arcs? And the use of the time chamber is a great callback. In the end, 17 gets absorbed. We get introduced to the concept of stages above Super Saiyan, which will make certain things a lot less dry later on. Now let's talk about Vegeta's fight with Semi-Perfect Cell. More on Cell than anything. He's portrayed as pitiful as he tries to achieve perfection, begging like a baby. Watching Vegeta crush him was generally entertaining, but we see where Vegeta's pride leads him, as he lets Cell achieve perfection, a grave mistake. He is instantly portrayed differently, as he easily deals with Krillin. Even though he's weaker than the Saiyans, you can still tell from the way it's portrayed he's way stronger than before, which is a cool way of showing things. Now let's talk about Goku and Gohan in the time chamber. These few moments shows and tells the audience a lot. From the way Gohan struggles at the start to get mad shows his more pacifistic side, something which will be key later on. Along with this, I loved how it showed a small portion of struggle to become a Super Saiyan manually, something we haven't got a lot of, and I wish we had more of to value the Super Saiyan by. I also love these small scenes with Gohan and Goku. Usually we don't get to see them interact, so it was nice to see this. Cell beats Trunks and announces the Cell games. We get a generally nice callback to Namek. When they take Dende to be the new god of Earth, Cell feels like a larger than life threat, as he easily beats the Z fighters and then kills the military. We learn a lot more about the human side of Dragon Ball. With their false hopes, it also is really funny looking at the story from the human's perspective. On this, they throw their strongest at the problem. They're panicked and scared. It adds a new view to these events, other than just the Z fighters. Mr. Satan's interactions with the unamused Cell are generally hilarious. So far, I've felt a sense of desperateness as I've read. I think it's due to how intimidating Cell is as a character, and the more casual times where they're not training, allowing the threat of Cell to sink in. Gohan being slowly pushed to the front will come in very handy later. The fight with Cell vs Goku had a bit of interesting choreography with the teleportation. This fight mainly served as an opener and show how strong Cell is, being stronger than Goku, stronger than Trunks, so forth and so on. Goku substituting Gohan for him made a form of sense, which the audience has seen his latent potential, making it not feel out of nowhere. Honestly, you feel bad for Gohan, as later in the fight, he gets beaten down mercilessly. It's made a lot more sense from the quote from Piccolo. How strong he may be, he's still a child. Remember, a child is being tormented by a threat to the literal earth. Gohan's pacifistic side is more prominently shown through this stage. He doesn't want to fight. Think about this, the only times he's picked to fight is when he's mad, usually because someone else is getting hurt. If you look between the lines, you can see he isn't a fighter, and this is where Goku messed up. Goku barely ever spends time with Gohan. He's either dead or training, so it's logical he would think Gohan likes fighting like he does, which adds a very sad dimension to the two characters' relationship. Gohan tries to resolve things peacefully, but the world he's been born into spat on that interest. I can go further in. Gohan isn't the type to be in the world of Dragon Ball where everyone loves battle to fight, but Gohan doesn't. He wants to be a scholar. Gohan turning into a Super Saiyan represents his rage. He tried to hold back his latent potential, and it shows. He's ready to fight. So far, the fight with Cell has been horrifying, making Cell the more intimidating. This form of Gohan is fundamentally different. He's sadistic and brutal, the complete opposite of Gohan, which shows a character change which isn't good and gets Goku killed in the end. I love the moment where Vegeta rages when he thinks Trunks is dead, really setting up another key point in his character arc. Now I want to talk about Vegeta and Trunks' relationship. Trunks wants to have a connection with Vegeta, but that doesn't go both ways. Vegeta sees connection as weakness. Trunks has high expectations who Vegeta is, and they get crushed, making him hate Vegeta in a way. But over time, Vegeta forms a connection with Trunks, which he would never tell anybody. The romance between 18 and Krillin was nice to see unfold on screen. With that, I have nothing left to say, and goodbye.